Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Gastarola.
You're not even trying now.
I don't even know what order we're going to release these in, so it's going to be a weird sequence of events. 2016 is almost done, so it's time to take a look back at the best reviewed games of the year. What games, according to critics, take the top honors?
It was a banner year for adventure games and first-person shooters, so let's get right to one of the biggest games of the year. Drum roll, please.
Ready?
Battlefield 1. The newest Battlefield game is set in World War I, a rare pick for first-person shooter, but developer DICE made it work. The game scored a very respectable 88 on Metacritic, and some reviewers called it one of the fall's biggest surprises, praising its graphics and sound as well as the dramatic campaign and solid multiplayer mode. Gaming Age gave it a perfect score, saying, "I'm absolutely impressed by every aspect of Battlefield 1. While it's easy to think that the weapons and machines available to a game based on the First World War might feel like a step back for military shooters, I think you'll be surprised by how exciting and modern Battlefield 1 still manages to feel."
One of the nice surprises about Battlefield 1, I thought, was actually the campaign. Just the way it was a lot of vignettes from a lot of different theaters of war. It meant that you got to jump around, you got to see a lot of different environments, you got to see a lot of different stuff, and really get a better representation of the war than everyone lived in trenches for a few years.
I thought it was an interesting approach to the interface and the mission selection,
Yeah.
where you could approach different missions at different times and kind of go through them all. I will say there was an unpleasant surprise on Battlefield 1 for the Xbox One for me when it deleted my save after I was halfway through the campaign.
That's a problem.
That was not good.
That's hardcore mode.
Did you die?
Probably. I died a lot in that game.
Yeah, I think my favorite mission in the game is still the one where you play as the pigeon.
No,
It's
that's like at the very beginning.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
just-
but
yeah.
it's so out of left field for a franchise like Battlefield. Like, now you're a pigeon, and I read up about that pigeon afterwards. I learned its history. I learned it survived. It was a mascot, and it's stuffed in a museum now.
Also, Titanfall 2, maybe the best mech game ever. Titanfall 2 was also a lot of people's picks for first-person shooter of the year, probably because you could drop giant robots on people, and of course, that's awesome.
Yeah, it
The
is.
game's campaign, while short, got high marks for exploring the relationship between man and machine, and the multiplayer was hailed for being fast and fun. The Guardian said that its short but exciting single-player mode has the craft of some of the best campaigns of the last decade.
Also, that they added a campaign.
And it probably had one of my favorite maps in a campaign of all time. I will say also in the multiplayer, I felt like I was really good at Titanfall 1 multiplayer, and I continually get destroyed in multiplayer this time
Dog
around.
shit in Titanfall 2 multiplayer. It's hard to play.
It's a beast. It's a lot of fun, but super stressful.
There's also, it's a bit of a departure, but Owlboy. It was a retro-ish platformer that was a surprise hit for PC after being 10 years in the making. The throwback SNES style, I think they referred to it specifically as high-bit because it's pixel art, but it's not specifically 8-bit or anything like that. Won raves, as well as the completely touching story of a mute boy who's kind of owlish, whose village is attacked by pirates. The Digital Fix said, "It's not often that a 2D platform game can mesh together with such a wonderful story, but Owlboy hits a sweet spot, which is no doubt down to sheer graft more than luck. Let's hope that we don't have to wait another 10 years for its successor."
As for one of my personal favorites, Dark Souls 3. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who like Dark Souls games and those who are wrong. From Software had another hit on its hands with the conclusion to the Dark Souls trilogy, which, like its predecessors, was short on plot but long on atmospheric and brutal combat. If you've never played a Dark Souls game, it's basically like a Zelda game if Link went to hell.
Accurate description.
EGM said that when taken as a whole complete experience, Dark Souls 3 may be the best chapter of the Souls series that From Software has crafted. A fitting way to end, if that will indeed be the fate of the franchise.
Overwatch, Blizzard's debut in the first-person shooter genre, made a huge splash with critics,
R.I.P. StarCraft Ghost.
despite not having a campaign mode or a progression system or that many game modes to choose from. Overwatch still delivered a unique experience. The game featured a dizzying array of characters that suited all playstyles and team-based gameplay that we haven't seen since Team Fortress 2. Not to mention the super tight mechanics that were friendly to newcomers and FPS veterans alike. This topped a lot of Game of the Year lists and has already spawned a devoted competitive scene. Shack News said the game, quote, carries itself with the confidence and proficiency of a veteran. It has plenty of room to grow and expand, but as our first step into this world, it's inviting, competitive, smartly designed, beautiful to look at, and fun to play. You can't ask for much more than that.
Every event they do though is a lot of fun. The Halloween event was a lot of fun. I really like all the skins that they put out.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work that goes into those events too when you think about it, because there's
Yeah.
all the new skins. Like, that represents a lot of time
And-
on the part of the developers, and it's so temporary.
And even game modes, right? I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
work that goes into those too.
In Halloween update, they finally went like, I guess in the summer update they did too, where they went like crazy with it, where they went as far as changing people's abilities and just completely scrapping what the game was about. Like, it wasn't a shooter in the summer games; it was Rocket League, but with Lucio.
There's also Forza Horizon 3, the signature racing franchise for the Xbox, came back in a big way in 2016 with a high-quality blend of arcade and sim racing. The installment packed in features and added new touches like off-road racing, which boosts the game's already insane replay value. Trust me, I've spent countless hours playing this game. I am nowhere near to completion. Reviewers loved the vast selection of cars, the spot-on controls, and, of course, the graphics. The entry lets drivers race through not just regular roads, but neighborhoods and even the Australian outback, which was really pretty awesome. Sadly, no kangaroo drivers. I think that's a real missed opportunity, but maybe we'll see it in some bonus DLC sometime. Game Over said Forza Horizon 3 doesn't reinvent the wheel in any way, but it does perfect it. Everything that worked about past games is better here. If you have always wanted to enjoy a Forza game but don't like the idea of sim racers, the Horizon series makes for a great gateway.
Civilization 6. Everybody loves Civilization games, but critics really love Civ 6. Like, really loved it.
Like a lot.
The sixth installment of the beloved strategy game sim was hailed by some critics as hitting the franchise's peak. And while the learning curve can be a little steep for new players, critics said Civ 6 brought the thunder in terms of addictiveness, a host of cool leaders to take over the world with, and new features like the city expansion. It got a combined 89 score on Metacritic, which puts it among the Gear's best. Gaming Trends said, diverse maps, unique leader abilities, and plenty of interesting rival empires to befriend and fight. Civ 6 has a lot to explore and great replay value.
I mean, really, all you do is replay Civ, right? That's the thing. Is a lot of people, according to Firaxis' stats, never finish their matches.
Right.
Because they take so long. That's one of the reasons they added the new mode too, where there's the new scenarios that you can get through in like 6 hours if you're playing
That's it?
with someone. Which, well, think about
Amazing.
it. If it's a multi.
Are you complaining? Are you
sorry, you were being facetious. My bad.
You can't complain about a game that you can play forever. That's great value.
And Inside. If,
This is my radio voice.
if video games were like the movies, Inside would be like the black and white art house hit. Oh wait, it was black and white, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Inside is a puzzle platformer that features a nameless boy constantly running from enemies in a dark, nightmarish environment. There's almost no plot or exposition. The game leaves you to figure that out for yourself. In short, it's a lot like its predecessor Limbo, but that's a good thing. And like its predecessor, Inside was loved by critics. Games Radar said, whether or not it achieves the same touchstone status as Limbo, Inside is a spellbinding, haunting experience. One I don't intend to relive anytime soon, but I absolutely recommend it.
Well, I think that last sentence says a lot. I wouldn't replay it. I actually have replayed Limbo. I don't know that it's quite to Limbo level in terms of compelling what is going on narrative. At some point, you just check out and go, what the shit is even happening? I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't played Stardew Valley, you must. This farming simulator was a one-man labor of love that critics also adored, and also Ashley's everywhere.
Yes.
Much like its inspiration, Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley lets you choose your own path. You can either raise crops and manage your animals, or spend time in the village, mingle with the locals, get your groove on with some of the local boys and girls, or you can go to the mountain and kill monsters if you want to. Reviewers loved the charm of the game and praised the obvious TLC that went into crafting it. The Escapist said, Stardew Valley is an absolutely charming little gem about forgetting all your worries and relaxing on a farm. And it's so good. It also just came out on Xbox One and PS4, so finally everyone can see what I'm talking about when I say it's so great.
Out of the Park Baseball 17. This PC exclusive was called the best baseball simulator out there by some critics, and with a 92 score on Metacritic, it was the best reviewed PC game of the year. Players can step into the shoes of team owner, GM, or manager to take control of their favorite club, past or present. In this game, you can go as granular as you want, whether it's from the owner's box or managing a game pitch by pitch. Sporting News says, there's never been a game that celebrates the history of the sport quite like Out of the Park Baseball 17. From playing out matchups that until now could only be fantasized about, to accurate minor leagues going back with nearly 100 years, what has been done with the product is remarkable.
Speaking of well-reviewed games, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. We finally say goodbye to Nathan Drake as the Uncharted series went out with a bang in its fourth installment.
Sort of.
Question mark?
Right,
They did just announce some new stuff at PSX. Everyone's favorite treasure hunter, Nathan Drake, goes off for one last adventure with Sully and his long-lost brother, who, even though we've never heard mention of him before, was a welcome addition to the game. They're on the hunt for a pirate treasure with a truly hateable bad guy and a squad of mercenaries determined to stop them. The adventure franchise was once written off as a clone of Tomb Raider, but developer Naughty Dog raised the bar to a whole new level with a mix of breathtaking visuals, exciting shootouts, and world building. Uncharted 4 might not have been the consensus pick for Game of the Year, but with a 93 score on Metacritic, it got better reviews than any other title this year. Reviewers called it a brilliant game that was a new classic of interactive gaming. Easy Allies gave it a perfect score, saying, Uncharted 4 is a landmark title that anyone remotely interested in interactive storytelling should invest in. Naughty Dog has once again raised the bar across the industry.
And
High praise.
They're
Game
not
was
wrong.
Really good.
I'd say that's a strong Game of the Year pick. It's
Yeah.
like best reviewed. It's hard to find anything about Uncharted 4 to criticize. Out of all these, what's your pick for Game of the Year? Let us know in the comments, and we'll have a bunch more videos like this throughout the holiday period. So please, by all means, let us know what you think of all this, again, in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and you get all of the videos and all of our festive cheer. You try to punch it off?
It's
I'm a
really,
cat.
It's
on
really
there.
well secured. Oh, no, it went.
Nope.
Okay, there it goes.
You put too much force on it.